Hello and welcome to Flory Models Friday catch-up show. Here we are with you on the 6th of September 2024 after a really nice break away. As you know, a lot of you, I went away to Cyprus for a family wedding last week and it all went off without a hitch. It was glorious. The weather, as you might imagine, was amazing. Too amazing. 35 degrees in 80% humidity, 85% humidity, no wind is not nice. But anyway, thank God for air conditioning and went along with it. Anyway, congratulations to the new Mr. and Mrs. Flory, adding to the Flory clan as well. And obviously with the kids and everyone, the entire family was there. So we had an absolutely fantastic time away for the week. But back at it this week, getting back into the swing of it. As far as I know, I've caught up with all info, emails, subscriptions and all the bits and pieces like that. If you have emailed me and you haven't had a response, then just send it again, because chances are it might have got deleted by mistake or I might have just missed it. So again, big apologies if I haven't, but I'm pretty sure I caught up with them really early in the week on Monday and Tuesday. But if you haven't heard anything from me, send it again and I'll obviously get back to you straight away. But it was nice to be back, catching up with everything, all the comings and goings of everything that's been going on, and then actually cracking on and getting back into some work. And again, even though it was only a week away, it takes a little bit to get going, especially with the filming. Put it this way, outtakes this week through the roof. Obviously just tripping over myself, words, doing things, not in camera shot. Takes a little bit to get back, but I think we're back there. Been pushing on heavily with the Corsair, which to be honest is just final assembly. It is all built. I've just got the lights to do, the last minute sticky out bits, pitos, things like that on there, aerials to go on, get the fuel tanks onto it, got to get the ejector racks onto it, and I'm going to put remove before flight tags onto it, and that will complete off this build. So hopefully I might actually put it up Monday. The final part of that one will go up with you as well. And I've done a little bit more over onto the Halifax as well. So we've been working on that, and I've done a review for the actual real colour marker pens as well, which obviously we got just before we went away. So I've done a full in-anger test with all of those as well. Anyway, it all started on Monday. There's not really much to see. This is just, Tuesday this was, sorry. This was just me catching up with obviously all the members, making sure everyone was okay. Big thank you for those. Again, massive shout out to all the membership. You did a fantastic job. You know, there's 3,000 of you in there, and we had no problems at all and nothing needed sorting out whilst I was away. So a good old pat on the back to you all, being so well behaved and everything else like that. Anyway, members, you can catch up with that little one. It's only a short little thing, just saying I'm back and I'm okay and everything else like that. Anyway, on Wednesday, we got back into it proper. So we were talking about obviously all these new marker pens that are coming out by everybody, because Display's got some out as well, and I have got the Display ones here, and I was playing with those, and I was just showing a few little tips and tricks with them in this particular video. So I was showing about turning them into a wash, and they're great for panel line washes. They're great for doing wheel wells and detail and picking out things like that as well. So we had that up there as well. So members, you can go off and you can see that one now. Then last night, me and the gang were on the actual show, obviously full show. We were on YouTube as well, so you can get this on catch up on YouTube, on Facebook, and all the other places you get the videos as well. And obviously, don't forget, it is up on the actual Flory Models site as well. So catching up with everyone, catching up with all the membership, answering questions, discussing why they got glass windows in toilets in certain countries, and all the other good stuff that goes along with it as well. So we were talking about that. The other thing we did discuss is obviously the dates for Flory Fest this year. I'm over at Eindhoven for SMC, or Scale Model Challenge, soon. Then we've got a day at Telford. We're going to be there on the Saturday, just the Saturday. And then we were talking about the turkey shoot dates. Now, one thing just to talk about here is that in my infinite wisdom, the date I had agreed turns out is my first wedding anniversary, which, as you imagine, went down a little bit like a lead balloon with the other half. So when I mentioned that actually we're doing it that week, she was like, we're away that weekend. And I was, oh, yes, we are. So anyway, we're going to have to slightly move it. So we're going to move it until the 12th and 13th of October. All right, so one for your diaries. Flory Fest this year, I will put it in writing as well down below, is actually going to be on the 12th and 13th this year. It's a really tight schedule at the moment because Matt's got something the weekend before, then we've got that weekend, and then I'm obviously at Eindhoven at the weekend after it as well, because we've got the big show for doing that one, and then obviously we've got Telford a couple of weeks later. Then obviously at the end of November, which is going to be the 28th through to the 31st of November, we've got the turkey shoot. So as you imagine, lots of live stuff, lots of broadcasting and everything else like that. So obviously I'll do a little bit of a vlog right the way through when I'm at SMC. I'll obviously do one for Telford as well, and then obviously we'll be live with you for actually Flory Fest at the beginning, and then obviously the turkey shoot at the end of October as well and into November. So It's going to be a very, very busy time, lots of running around, so bear with us on that one. But obviously, I'll get all the information out to you just as soon. That date is still a little bit fluid. That's the one I've sort of set in place, but I've got to speak to the rest of the team, make sure they're all okay with that one, and if they can, obviously we'll be doing it that particular weekend. So that's the one we're going to go for this particular year. But I know lots of you have been asking about when is Flory Fest this year, and obviously when's Turkey Shoot. So the big ones for that. So 12th and 13th of October for Flory Fest, was thinking, and the Turkey Shoot is going to be 28th through to the 31st of October as well. So we'll be live right the way through. That's the plan with it. Again, we'll do morning shows, afternoon and evenings, right the way through all of those as well. Be build along, and obviously for Flory Fest, we'll be doing demos and tutorials and all the good stuff that we usually do. Remember, if you can't see it live, don't worry about it. It'll all be on catch up. You can watch them whenever you like on those ones. All right, so that was that one. And again, obviously on last night we were doing all the questions, and lots of questions being answered in there as well, and the usual sort of jokes that go along with it. All right. The other thing that was up as well yesterday was for the members, was all about the markers. Okay, so this is the real colour markers. The video is up with you right now, and basically it's me going through on this one, showing them how they work, what they are, and you know, to be honest, they're nothing new. It's just that they're in really nice colours. That's the biggest difference with these as well. So they've got a nice soft tip end on them as well. And you can literally, as you can see here, squiggle around to your heart's content. And this is on neat, unused plastic card. So it's very glossy, very, very shiny. As you can see, it's got great coverage. It works really, really well with all of these. Then we were having a play with some of the colours and going through things like that, as you can see down in there. And again, they're not a one-hit wonder. Don't get me wrong. You're going to get brush marks into them, just as you would if you were hand painting. So they are going to need a few coats on there, and long brush strokes as well is the key to using these ones. But you can see the colours are really nice. The pigmentation is fantastic, you know, and actually you get a couple of coats down onto it and they work really, really well as well. So it's one of those ones where it might look a little bit funny and odd on the screen here, but as you can see, when you get a couple of coats into it, it works actually quite well. And I know we've spoken about it on the live shows and the various things in the past, and people saying, yeah, it's a bit gimmicky. Do you know what? Gimmicky, I absolutely love it, because I've been using them solidly, to be honest, the display ones, until I did the review yesterday on these, and they are absolutely fantastic. Not for doing big jobs, as you can see down in here, or anything else like that, but generally, if you are doing the smaller little bits out there. So for instance, on this one, all right, little things I've done. I forgot to do little actuators and stuff like that that needed painting white. Use the white pen on the sprue, put them on, let it dry, away you go. Boarding ladders, anything that is small, you can literally just do the pen. So some of the bits on the gear doors, I said, the actuators, stuff like that, absolutely tip top for it. You can literally just touch them in and away you go. And I know there's loads of videos out there doing everything from cows to, you know, big stuff as well, and small stuff, and with weathering, they just work very, very well. Anyway, you can see it just down in here as a little bit of a thing. This one's all had 3 or 4 coats now, all of these, and you can see it does work really, really well. And like I show in the video, you can do soft edge as well. It doesn't have to be hard edge. You let it dry, you get a hard edge. If it's still wet, you can bleach or sort of leach them together, where they'll blend and give a nice softer edge to it, and all the rest of it, just like that. So again, I think really, you know, they're not too bad. And down in here, for instance, this one here has had a second coat of the gunmetal colour. And again, 1 coat, they're a little brush marky. 2 coats, works very, very well. So again, I think they're great for little touch-ups. And small jobs, definitely. Inside cockpits are going to be brilliant. Again, good range of colours. There's the colours that I did with it and all the rest of it on the plastic card, just to see. Some of them clearly have got a better coverage than others. Obviously, the darker colours, you have no problem with the coverage. But you get to the lighter colours, as you can see, they get very much a brush mark effect into them, just like paint. So you're going to have to put down a good couple of coats. To be honest, in all my testing and that, for best results, stick a coat of primer on, which I know is sort of defeating the object if you're hand painting it all. But again, it's one of those ones where I think it's just great for little tiny touch-ups and doing things. And to be honest with you, I did all of the bay here is all done with them as well. So again, it's not all AK. There's other things as well. There's post companion here. There's the display markers as well as the AK ones. But again, little job like just doing inside the bays, brilliant. All right. And even the weathering done in the wheel wells was all done with watered down markers and stuff like that. So they do work very, very well in little tiny confined areas, stuff like that. So for small bits of detail, I think they're excellent. My only 2 criticisms, shall we say, about them are, one is I wish they were double-ended, because there's certain manufacturers out there, Winsor & Newton, who do them and they're double-ended, and then you've got like a ballpoint one on one end, and then on the other end you've got a nice big fat brush. So again, you can do the tiniest details with the ballpoint one, and then you can do broader strokes, you can use the actual brush one. I know it comes down to money, but as Matt showed on last night's show, go and have a look, he picked up a set, I think it was 30 of them, or whatever it is, of colours in there, and literally they've got double-ended, and it was 25 quid, 30 quid, that was it for the set. So a lot cheaper than you pay for these. Admittedly, these are all in the colours, which are military-based colours and things we need. Second gripe, they need to bring out another one for sort of allied. This is very much sort of, German markings. There's a lot of the actual Germans, RLM codes in there, things like that for it. We could actually do with a nice set for more modern stuff as well. So we're just thinking perhaps, RAF greens and browns and greys, things like that. US Air Force colours like ghost greys, those types of things as well. A neutral grey would be handy. You don't get a neutral grey in there, and that's why I choose other manufacturers for it, for greys and things, because they're not in there. I'm assuming they're going to come out with another set, or they're going to add to it and go along with it like that. So you might get, real colour markers here. You might get the second version of it with more modern. I'm really hoping they do. I think it's not a game changer to the hobby, but it's a speed thing. So for instance, today, little tiny jobs I did, it was great. So, for instance, the missiles on the sidewinders, done with a marker pen because I forgot to do it. The white was done airbrush because I had to do the fuel tanks, but the black on the front, I did the actual the fins at the back with the pens as well. Again, it's one of those things. You don't have to get your paint out, mix your paint, make it thin it a little bit, and then put it on. Just grab it, job's done. So from that point of view, I think they're great. Do you need to go out and buy the entire set? If you're into German stuff, then yeah, it's probably going to be the best way to do it. But as was pointed out by some of the guys on the shows last night, if you buy them individually, it's £3 cheaper. But you don't get the very nice presentation case when you do it like that. And this is one of these magnetic ones. So yeah, it's actually a really nice, strong, sturdy box. So that extra £3, I think that's what the box is. So yeah, but anyway, if you are a fan of like quick little jobs, stuff like that, you'll love these. They're great, but there is other options out there. I will say that, just in all honesty. Display do some really nice ones. Gundam do markers as well for more the sort of vibrant colours because of that genre and stuff. But generally, if you have a look around and you just put for acrylic paint pens, brush pens, you will see them. But make sure they're acrylic and not the enamel ones, because Sharpie do a range. They do acrylic, and they also do them as an enamel as well. Make sure you get it the right way round. You really want the acrylic ones because they will work better, all right? Especially if you do weathering. So don't do like I did on an aircraft a while ago where you had all the red trim, which I did with the Sharpie. Then I put an oil wash over it and all the Sharpie melted, and when everything turned pink. Don't do that. That's not a good one. Anyway, with that one going on, obviously the other thing that is up this week is this little lump as well, is part 6 of the actual Corsair. So this is the one that I actually did before we went away. So down in here, we gave it a nice satin finish. So we use the AK 3rd Gen's satin acrylic, which I really love. It gives it a very, very nice finish. Talking of pens, because I couldn't be bothered to obviously mask it all up because I forgot to on the anti-glare panel at the front and the black around the framing, I did it all with a pen. Again, classic example of speed, quick. Didn't have to mask it, and I just drew it all on, so that was nice and quick. And again, looks very nice when it's in there. And then we went away and we did the actual wash right the way over it. So it's got the clay wash, dark dirt everywhere, and then obviously wipe it off. We're doing this as a cagbird, so it's not going to be too dirty at all. So nice and clean down in there. And then obviously just some of the more sort of, little areas, things in there with a Q-tip to get rid of it. All the panel lines looking good. Happy with all of that, as you can see down in there. And then obviously we used a little bit of paint just down in here, and then we used Posca pens, and then to be honest, we'd used everybody else's pens to get all the colours to do all the detail work on the interior. So just going around with these, this one here is the DSB pens. The gunmetal's very nice as well with theirs. And then again, we're using Posca pen inside the actual wheel wells, and then we just water it down and then just wash it around in there, and it gives you a really nice grimy type look, as was with the photos on the reference. So that was all looking very nice down in there like that. So anyway, you can catch up with that one right now, members. You can go off. It is available to watch, as you can see. And here it is as we sit. So it's pretty much all together. As I say, just got the little aerial. So with you on Monday, we've done all the tape work around the front. So all these seals is actually done with masking tape. It's 0.4mm thickness. We use a cutting mat and we just stuck it on down in there. It's on right the way over. We've got the boarding ladder and the steps all down in there. We've got all the interior is all looking nice. And generally, it's all looking very, very good down in here again. So it's one of those ones we use pens for it as well. So we actually did all the hubs and tires, they're all pen as well, just to be awkward. So again, I actually use the DSP or the display pens for doing those ones because I didn't actually open up the other one until yesterday. So as you can see, but the Corsair is coming along very, very nicely again. So we'll be finishing this one off. Probably the final part will be up with you on Monday. I've just got to do the fuel tanks. They just need a nice little satin coat, a little bit of weathering over them. So they're just drying off. We've got those ejector racks as well, the multiple ejector racks to go on. And again, that will finish off this little build. So again, aerials, lights, few little touches this afternoon, and we'll get this little guy finished off. But fear not, the other lump is here as well, because I can't get it in the camera angle. So technically, as said before, this one is all ready to go, but obviously catching up with stuff this week, I didn't get as quite as far as I wanted to. So this little lump will be finished off next week, no problem. It is all the parts are done. I've just got to put it all together and unmask it. But again, looking really very, very nice indeed. Very happy of how this one's come out. It's looking very much the part. Don't break it now, for God's sake. We've almost finished it. The two things I did do is the turrets this week. So this one is done with pen. So literally we just came in, did the lot, and then we scrape cleaned with the obligatory cocktail stick because they're acrylic, and then just cleaned all the parts up and away we went. So again, looking very nice down in there. So we've got the turret all done and ready. And the top one, because I didn't have the colour, I had to do this the old school way of literally coming in with masking tape. So we did this as individual strips. So we masked off the strip, painted it, gave it 5 minutes to dry, then we did the next one, and then we did the next one, which I think is quicker than cutting it out and doing it all in sections. So what we need to do now is just cut out these for the actual guns to poke through, and we can get this one onto the top turret, and we'll be good to go with this one once we're all set and ready. The only thing I've got to get for this particular kit, to be honest, is a set of barrels for it, so I'm going to 3D print some off. I've got a file for them. We can sort that out. I think there are 303s on this one, so we can go through the method of getting those ones done. But keep out for it. Halifax, the last part of that will probably be up with you on Friday next week as well, because that's very close. If not, I'm going to put a couple of bits together and then we can get on the next build. So the next two big builds coming up with this one is the Osprey. We've got the 48 scale Osprey coming along as well, and we've got the Space 1999 Eagle Transporter as well. Something a little bit sci-fi. Haven't done it for a while, and I can probably use lots of pens on that as well. So really looking forward to that one. We also had a restock in the store. If I just bring up the store, here it comes. We've down in here of a couple of things. The tweezers are all back in stock for members. They're on a separate page, and they're going to be making their way out into the main store. Sorry, you can't see that. On the main store on probably, I should think around about Wednesday, Thursday next week. But we have got more cutters in. I've got 10 pairs of nips have come in as well, so you can grab those as well. So if you want to get any of those, you can. We've only got 21 mugs remaining of the actual 2024 mug. It is a limited edition, and we're getting quite close for next year's mug coming out. All right. So what I'm going to say is, if they've got any left, they're going to get smashed, because we always do a limited edition for that year, and you can't have them afterwards. So if you do want a mug, and it is open to anyone for this particular mug, you can actually grab one now. So it's the Flory Models Europe mug 2024. We've got a special because we've got a big anniversary next year of yes, a few years of a certain product will be out with us next year, so we've got special ones there. But anyway, you get all the other bits and pieces as always just down in here. All right, so we've got all of these set up for you as well. Over on the PM store, obviously they're continuing their 30% hot summer sale. Is going to finish at the end of this weekend as well, so there's 30% off all the full price kits down in here, so a massive 30% off absolutely everything on the entire store. All right, so it doesn't matter if it's Airfix, if it's Tamiya, whoever's it is, Trumpeter, it's 30% off absolutely everything down in there, with the exception of the special offers areas. Slightly different discounts down in here as well. So we've got the fantastic Magic Factory Skyhawk down in there. We've got the Meng Ornithopter, I think they call it, as well, which I must admit I'm going to get one in for review, because I really do look the like of that. I quite fancy building it, if I'm honest. Spitfire did the review on as well, and there's a few other bits down in there which are sort of unchanged. This is all going to change though at the end of this weekend as well, probably around about Monday. So if you do fancy anything using the big 30% discount, please grab it now, because again, that's all going to finish next week. All right. I don't know the exact date, but it's probably going to be Monday. That's going to close down. So if you do want anything at 30% off, grab it now. All right. And it is on all kits. It's not selected items. It's all the range of kits that we got down in there as well. All right. So lots of stuff down in there if you want to grab any of those. Okay. Last up, PM Models has moved location and it is into a new store. To be honest with you, we've been in that unit before for 6 years. Our contract was up for renewal. The contract wasn't for us, so we decided to move to a new one. Big thank you to Matt and the team and everyone, because I was on holiday when it all happened, so it's perfect timing on my part. But they've moved units and all the rest of it. As is the unit, the old one, we're not open to the public for walk-in because literally it's just a warehouse. We don't have a counter system and all the bits and pieces. Again, if you want to do a pickup and things, it is available, but it's be set times. You'll have to speak to the guys there, i.e. Matt or Andy, and they can arrange you direct through PM Models as well. So any questions, please direct them to PM Models, not the Flory Models one. We are two separate companies, although technically I'm part both of them. All right. So, but they are run separately. So if you've got any questions for them, shoot them the messages and it saves me having to forward them on. Anyway, that's about it from me. You can go off and obviously see the next part on the Corsair. Have a look at the markers review, see what you think of them as well. That's up with you right now. And as I say, over the weekend, I am working. We're going to be finished this little guy off for Monday, and we're going to be getting on with the Halifax as well. All right. So still lots to come next week as we make our way through and get back in the swing of it all as well. As always on a Friday, I'm going to leave you with your great work from the gallery. So until next week, everybody, happy modelling. Take care.
I'm wasted, my heart grows heavy. Don't taste me rushing and keep your words naked. You got me blushing. And you forever I'll follow. You'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow. Through a ghost town, alone and stranded. Why leave me hoping and guessing for the answer?